Welcome to PV Online Chemistry. We've created a series of short videos to introduce the material in a unit. You will still need to look up information in your online textbook and refer to materials in the resources for learning, but hopefully these videos can help you get started. Now we're first going to discuss measurements. And this is going to be critical for the whole year. When you're looking at a measurement, it needs to include both a number and a unit. All right, so the number is going to be the numerical value, and the unit is going to be the unit associated with it. So let's say that you measured something that had a mass of 55 grams. If you were to enter just 55 in for your answer, you will lose a point because it's not a complete answer. This could be what, 55 apples? It could be 55 coins. What does it represent? And so it's going to be very important to you that in addition to putting down the 55, that you would write down 55 grams. That would be the complete answer. So pay attention to that. If all of a sudden you're like, gosh, I keep losing points here and there, like 1 point off an answer, then that means probably more often than not than you've forgotten your units. Now, another thing that we're going to be using a lot is going to be scientific notation. And scientific notation is a way to express really big and really small numbers. When we're talking about atoms, atoms are really small, so we need to have a lot of them in order for us to be able to make something that's worth measuring. And so scientific notation is convenient. Now, you've probably seen scientific notation in math classes or perhaps in some other science classes, but it's still worthwhile for us to revisit it. So now let's take a look at this, and suppose we have a really large number, and the distance from the sun to the earth is about 93,000 miles. But I don't want to have to write out those 6 zeros each time. In order to write it in appropriate scientific notation, what you need to do is when you have a large number, you're going to go from the decimal point, which is right here, and count how many points or positions do you have to move over. So you'll notice that I'm moving at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to stop there because in order to have an appropriate scientific notation, you want to have one non-zero. So I've got my 9.3. There's my decimal point. I have one non-zero to the left of the decimal times, and now how many times did we have to go over to the left? And since I went to the left, that's going to make that times 10 to the 7th. And that would be, if I left it there, I would be incorrect because I need to remember unit. I don't know why my handwriting's so sloppy right now, but I hope to get better as we go along. All right, so I've got a positive exponent as we look at this when you have a large number. Now compare that, I'm going to move my screen down a little bit, to where if we have a small number, and a small number is going to be what we encounter when we're looking at the size of an atom. Now this time I want to move my decimal so that there's one non-zero to the left of it. So if you look at this right here, you'll see we have to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. So I have 1.7. Again, one non-zero times 10. Now I moved the decimal to the right, so that's going to make it really small, and we represent that with a negative sign up there, and I would have times 10 to the negative 10th. Now, would my answer be complete? The answer is no, because in addition to the number, I also need to have my unit, and we're going to use lowercase m for meters. Now, since it's a science class, we're going to be using the metric system. So get real comfortable with meters and grams and liters. And so that's going to be the thing that we become more familiar with. All right, now when doing your work, I want to show you something real quick. Okay, this is a little screen of what your text box might look like when you're doing an assignment. Now, this is a teacher-graded assignment. Because you can see that you're going to be entering text and it's not in a single little line. And so what you need to do is make sure you just copy all the questions. You don't have to include videos and links and those kinds of things, but copy the question into the edit box down here. And notice up here in this little bar, there's all kinds of things you can do. You can change the color, you can change the font size. When you do your representation, make sure that you use these exponent keys. Make sure you use the subscript and the superscript. Don't write 8.8 times 10 caret to the ninth and so forth, because you could use this. Now there will be times when the software does not allow us to use subscripts and you'll have to use the caret key, but anytime you have this text box available, make sure that you use the subscripts and the superscripts. Okay, you should be ready for the very first assignment in this unit. Good luck. See you next time.